Windows 101, Vinyl Window Installation in a New Construction, Nail Fin Opening. This video will demonstrate the installation of a window equipped with a nailing fin. Before beginning the procedure, the weather-resistant barrier should already be in place. The sill flashing is installed prior to installing the window. The jamb and head flashing will be applied to the face of the nailing fin after installation. Before starting the process, please ensure that the sashes of each window to be installed are closed and locked and the screens are removed. To begin, mark the weather-resistant barrier with cut lines in a modified eye. Mark a point of intersection above each jamb condition. Use a piece of self-adhesive flashing to make it easy to locate the point. Cut a horizontal line at the top, flush with the edge of the rough opening. Cut from the top of the opening to where the two diagonal lines intersect at approximately 45 degrees. Next, cut two diagonal lines starting at the intersection and ending at the bottom corners of the rough opening. Then, cut the intersection above each jamb. This creates a flap in the weather-resistant barrier that will be used later. The flap at the head of the opening can now be taped up for future use. Wrap the weather-resistant barrier to the inside. Nail to secure it. Any excess barrier material on the interior can be trimmed and discarded. The sill flashing is then installed. Make a vertical relief cut on the self-adhesive flashing and adhere to the rough opening. Repeat on both sides. Press firmly around all edges. After the sill flashing is installed, apply a 3/8" bead of sealant to the interior surface on the window's nailing fin. As shown in this example, sealant should be applied to the head and jamb only. Leave sill for drainage. The sealant must be placed in line with any pre-punched holes or slots in the nailing fin. Once the sealant is applied, the window can be hung into position. Raise the window up, tilting the bottom toward the rough opening of the sill condition. Set the window on the shims and push the window into place. Press against the nailing fin to compress the fin and sealant. Attach a fastener through the nailing fin at the upper jamb condition on one side. Check for squeeze out of the sealant along the fin and through any installation holes or slots. Move the window from side to side, making sure the joint between the window frame and the rough opening is equal on both sides. After the window is in position, check it for level, adding shims when necessary. Recheck the window for plumb and level. Next, fasten the top of the window on the other side. Using a tape measure, check the window to ensure that it is square. Raise the bottom sash to check reveal. There should be an even gap from jamb to jamb. Remove shims so it is free to float in the opening. Attach fasteners to the bottom corners. Then, from the inside, check the window again for level, plumb, and square by measuring its width at bottom, middle, and top and its height at left, middle, and right. You are checking to make sure there is no bowing on the sill or sides and if there is a narrow gap around the perimeter of the window. Next, verify that the window is not resting on the sill. Continue to fasten the window in place, making sure to attach it as instructed by the manufacturer. Next, the jamb flashing is applied to both sides of the window. Start by raising the jamb self-adhesive flashing into position to make sure the top of the flashing is inserted under the flap of the weather-resistant barrier. Next, the head flashing can be installed. Raise the head flashing up, making sure the top of the flashing is placed under the flap of the weather-resistant barrier at the head. Place the lower edge of the flashing over the window's nailing fin. The ends of the flashing should overlap the jamb flashing by approximately 1 inch on each side. After the flashing is applied at the head condition, the flap of the weather-resistant barrier can be lowered into its final position. After removing the tape, lower the weather-resistant barrier down over the head and jamb flashing. Apply a new piece of sheathing or flashing tape over the entire diagonal cut line between the weather-resistant barrier and the flashing material on each side of the opening. To complete the installation process on the interior, insert loose fiberglass insulation or sealant in the joint between the window frame and the rough framing and trim to suit the job requirements. When installing insulation, be careful to pack the joints loosely. Expandable foam insulation should not be used. We hope this makes your next window installation a little easier.